Hello everyone, it's Leo and it's time to talk about episode 38. Tropical-Rouge has no business being this good. I don't even know what to say. I really loved this. I'm even wearing red today because it's Asuka's turn to shine, and what an episode this was. I'm even gonna start by talking about what I didn't like about this because this was way too good, so I'm gonna start with the bad, which was the fighting scene. The fighting scene was the only part of the episode I didn't really enjoy, but even the fighting scene had its moments. We had Coral and Papaya using their signature moves. They were kind of cool, especially like when Papaya missed her eye beams and she was like, ooh, she was all confused. That was very cute. And there was also the fact that Asuka was able, or Flamingo, was able to envision the situation of a tennis court to be able to hit the monster with her attack, which the girls were not being able to hit it. And while that was cool, but overall, it's basically like Tropical-Rouge level of fighting scenes, nothing special. But the rest is Tropical-Rouge level of narrative, which is being one of my favorite narratives because it really knows how to deal with the characters. This episode was proof of that. I feel like this episode really had everything coming together. The soundtrack, the voice acting, the drawings, the way the camera worked, and the tenseness of the scenes and everything else. I feel that one of the things that really made this episode work is that so far we know that there's this something between Yuriko and Asuka. We know they had problems in their past. We've already seen what the problem is, and we know they used to be partners in tennis, but we haven't had the point of view of Yuriko. So far, there's nothing about her point of view towards everything that happened. We know they throw shade to each other throughout the whole season, but we only actually see Asuka's point of view. And we know that Asuka is somewhat hurt over what happened. And it's kind of clear to know that Yuriko is also hurt about what happened. But it's nice that we finally have Yuriko's side, but we only had her side right before the fighting scene. Before that, we didn't really have her side, and we were only seeing it on the outs, and that helped create the tensefulness this episode really needed. Gorgeous work they did. So the episode started with Yuriko actually seeing Asuka train, which was shocking for her because Asuka had abandoned tennis and Yuriko kept on playing tennis for what we could understand. And so Yuriko saw Asuka training. That scene was very nice because we finally saw Yuriko not wearing the school uniform. We saw her in another clothing, and that was very cute. And we also saw Asuka and her drama in choosing a school for next year, because Asuka's going to graduate, she's going to go to high school, and now she has to think of a school, she has to think of somewhere to go. There's Phoenix Academy, which is the school that is focused on tennis. She can't go to that school because she doesn't have great grades, and since she abandoned tennis, she can't get the referee to go to that school. So what is she going to do? She wonders about that, and that is another great point of the episode. Facial expressions. This episode really worked with facial expressions so well. Oh my god. And we see that Yuriko is leaving the student council because she is going to graduate soon. And so Asuka is also going to leave the Tropical Club. There's probably going to be a moment in Tropical-Rouge that we're going to see Asuka leaving the Tropical Club, and that's going to be very emotional. But I feel like Tropical-Rouge only will make us cry with Laura's goodbye. And the other plot points, they're not really trying to be that dramatic. They want to have this lighthearted feel. They want to make us feel happy, even though I cried watching today's episode. But, and so we see Asuka saying that like she's preparing to leave the Tropical Club one day, and this day is coming soon. And it all was done in a very lighthearted way, which is a good thing. You know, we're already suffering a lot with the thought of saying goodbye to Tropical-Rouge in general. I am, at least. And so that was very lighthearted, and it was also the plot point for the episode to move forward, and that's what happened. The girls went to Phoenix Academy. Minori's idea of searching for books, for ideas to celebrate Asuka's graduation from the club was very sweet. And I feel like this episode really focused on Asuka, so we barely saw the other girls. But those little moments we had from the group were enough to show like Sango's personality and Minori's personality a lot. I mean, Manatsu and Laura are basically the main characters, so we see them all the time, even though it was not the case today. And we kind of saw them a lot more than the other two, but they were also able to work with Sango and Minori very well in those moments they had. They were very cute and they were very special because they really showcased their personalities, who they are, etc. And Phoenix Academy looked super cool, and you know, the girls checking out all of the clubs and everything. The way they treated the school made the school feel very alive to me, at least. And then when Asuka listened and noticed that it was Yuriko's voice, she was shocked and she looked right at it. That already that really made my heart skip a beat, because you could really see how much Asuka is still connected to Yuriko, and she was not expecting to see Yuriko there, and then she just went on with the girls. You know, the girls wanted to see Yuriko play, and especially Manatsu. She was like, "Student Council President, hello!" Oh my god! And then when Yuriko saw Asuka, they started that conflict again. Girl, and I really loved the camera work at that moment. The camera going down, like pinning from the ground up towards them and making them look huge, and the threat to each other. That was so cool, and it was so well done. And you know, Yuriko really calling on Asuka, saying like, "I want to play against you, because if I don't play against you, I won't feel fulfilled, and I won't feel like I deserve the role that I'm gonna get, being the referred student for Phoenix Academy." And we learned that there's only one referred student from the tennis area in this school, and they are thinking of giving this to Yuriko. But then there's Asuka too, who left tennis, but she is well known and the coach knows her. The coach even mentions that she used to be someone who was very promising in tennis, but since she left, but Yuriko wanted to play against her. And this is a moment, this really comes full circle. Because as I said before, we didn't know anything about Yuriko. And we knew that Asuka was feeling sad for what happened, and that was a cause of trauma for her. Because if we look at Asuka back from episode 5, when she debuted in Tropical-Rouge, we saw someone who always wanted to be by herself, and she didn't want to be part of a group anymore. And then later on, we learned that it was because of what happened with Yuriko in the past. Great! Now, there comes a time that she is in a group, she is happy with her teammates, and then she's having to have this conflict against the person who made her lose all the trust. It was not Yuriko's fault. It was not Asuka's fault either. But it's finally time for this confronting to happen. Because, you know, they broke up their duo, they never really spoke about it again, they were just schoolmates, and they're going to resolve this in the tennis court. And when the match starts, it's so nice because we have Minori in this role of explaining the tennis game, because, well, we, the viewers, might not know how a tennis game is played. I myself kind of know, but there are lots of details I don't, and you know, the explanation was very simple. It was enough for a viewer to understand what was going on, I feel like, and who was winning, and what had to be made for someone to win, and things like that. And so the match starts, Yuriko destroys Asuka in the first set, but then when the second set starts, things start to change, and Asuka starts to get momentum, and she starts winning. And look, I complained about the fighting scene. It doesn't matter, because the tennis scene was gorgeous. It was a big scene, it was a big match, but it was gorgeous. We had so many cool scenes and cool shots and cool moments. Ah, gosh, the animation in that moment and some of the moments were, oh my god, they were so cool. And things were intense. Asuka was winning. She had to have 3 sets to win the game, and she was winning 2-1. And in the fourth set, which is match set for Asuka, she was ready to win. But then things started to heat up, and Yuriko finally started talking about their past in the middle of their game, and they started dealing with that. And we finally see Yuriko's side from everything. So what happened, we know what happened between them. And Yuriko made them forfeit the match so that they would lose the match because of what Asuka did. And they would continue after as a duo. Asuka did not want that, and so she basically left because she thought that was not just enough. There was no justice in that. And so there comes this conflict because Asuka did that because she wanted Yuriko to fight with her for their cause. Yuriko, on the other hand, we didn't know, but now we do know what was going through her mind at the moment. She forfeited that match because she thought that by forfeiting that match, she and Asuka would be able to play the rest of their school years together. So she was giving up that victory, she was giving up that match, thinking about the future. And Asuka did not want to give up that match, but she wanted Yuriko to stay by her side and fight together with her for justice in that case. Both of them were thinking of their duo in their own ways. Their ways were very far apart, and they couldn't really connect their ways at that moment. And that made them break up, and their team was broken. Their duo was broken, unfortunately. But now it was time for them to finally understand each other. And even though they didn't say that at that moment, I feel like they kind of understood each other. And Yuriko was finally able to open up her heart and say that everything she did was because she still wanted to play with Asuka. Even nowadays, she still wanted to play with Asuka. And what a moment that was. That really brought tears up to my eyes because when I saw that, like the animation from that scene, Asuka's face, as I said, facial expressions in this show are so important. And they worked so well with Asuka. And Asuka's design is so pretty. Yuriko's design is so pretty. Like their designs are amazing. And oh my god, what did they do in this episode? It was a work of art. And Yuriko asking Asuka, like, why? Why are you thinking of coming back to tennis now? And Asuka telling her, it's because of the Tropical Club. The Tropical Club opened up my eyes and showed that I can trust people, that I can be with the team again. It's fine being with the team again. And I remember seeing lots of people saying that Asuka had no development in Tropical-Rouge, blah, 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 blah. And look, I didn't say anything at the time because you have to wait for things to end. Because everything that Asuka went through in the season makes sense now. Everything that happened in Tropical-Rouge makes so much sense for Asuka's arc. And this proves it. Everything that Asuka went through with the girls as a group was part of how the season works, yes, but it was also for her own development as a character, which is the same thing for all the other girls too. And then we see this being played right in front of our eyes. What a moment. What a great moment that was. I cried. I'm gonna be honest, I cried. I'm very invested in the Tropical Club. I love those girls so much. And I did cry at that moment. It was very, very beautiful. And then we had another realization, which is the girls left to fight because Ayaneda was attacking and Asuka stayed. But Yuriko finally told her that she knows that Asuka is that girl. So she knows Asuka is Pure Flamingo. What a big realization. What a beautiful moment. And even at that moment, Yuriko asked Asuka, don't go fight, stay with me. And Asuka went on and fought alongside the Tropical Club. Because at this moment, the Tropical Club and being a cure and being friends with the Tropical girls is her priority. That's the most important thing for Asuka right now. That's the priority of her life right now. Not Yuriko. Yuriko was at one point, but now she's not. Her priority is another thing. That was amazing. That was gorgeous. That was so beautiful. She could have said, like, this is my responsibility as a cure. This is what I have to do. I have to protect people's motivation. No, that's not the reason. She went on. She left her tennis racket there and went on to fight with the girls. That was not the reason. I love Tropical-Rouge so much. And at the end of the episode, we see that they're in good terms again. And that Yuriko got the referee and she is going to Phoenix Academy. And we also see that Asuka is ready to fight and try Phoenix Academy. So she's studying a little harder so that she's able to get there. I don't know how the Japanese studying system works. I don't know if she still has time to go to Phoenix Academy. But if she does, the Yuriko-Asuka duo is going to come back for sure at the end of Tropical-Rouge. Love it. And they kind of left like an open field for a little bit more Asuka in the series, which is her goodbye from the Tropical Club. We're going to have a moment of the girls celebrating, throwing a party or something. We're going to have that. And also another thing that I have to mention, Kururun rooting for Asuka. Best mascot ever. Kururun, we love you so much. Kururun. Anyways, next week is Sango's last episode, and I'm also very excited to see where her character will lead us, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing, just like Asuka's episode was. Wow. Episode 38 really got me. I loved it. I am living for this episode. I live for Asuka. I loved this so much. It was gorgeous. Wasn't it? Please leave a comment with your opinions on episode 38 and let's keep talking in the comment box below. I want to take this time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very, very much for your support and for standing by Magical Cinnamon. I really, really appreciate it. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye!